Giovanni was born in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, to Victor Van Bronckhorst, a mixed Dutch-Indonesian, married to Francine Sapulete, who is from Saparua, central of Maluku. He began playing for a local amateur youth team in Rotterdam from the age of 6, joining the youth academy at Feyenoord the following year. In 1990, aged 15, the club offered him a professional contract, which he accepted, and from then on, he played for several world-class clubs, such as Rangers, Arsenal and FC Barcelona. He has earned over 100 caps for the Dutch national team and played for his country in 3 World Cups as well as 3 European Championships. Giovanni's final game for the Netherlands and as a professional footballer was in the World Cup final against Spain. Since then, he has retired from professional football, a career that he has pursued all his life. It's great, but then you've retired from professional football, am I right? So is this because it's a good time to retire because of you feel you're getting too old for professional football?
Well, normally as a player you play till you're 35, 34. That's the age, most players.
Well, you fit to me.
Yeah, I feel good, but for me as well, it was also mentally that I started to think, maybe it's better now to stop, and I could say goodbye at the World Cup, which is the biggest tournament in the world, and we were getting close of winning the World Cup, so that would have been, the perfect goodbye. But I'm still very proud and grateful of all my great moments I had in football.
Okay, now let's look back on this. You've been playing since you were 6 or 7, and I think everybody saw that beautiful goal in the World Cup against Uruguay. Now, looking back on your career, football, why was this love of football something that you felt that you were born with?
Well, I was very young when I got interested in football. My parents told me I would have a ball in my hand before I could walk, and every time you saw me when I was young, there was always a ball in my hands or at my feet, and I was only thinking about football, playing on the streets and watching football on TV, and I really get inspired as well by all the talent I saw on TV, like Maradona. I was crazy about Maradona, and
I wanted to be Maradona.
Yes, of course. Who didn't? And that's, for me, it's great. That all my goals I wanted when I was young, I could achieve.
And you were supported by your parents?
Oh, yeah, very well. My parents are. I had a good education. They told me before I go into football, I have to finish my education, because they thought it was very important. Because the chance of getting into top football, the chance is not so big. So I think education is just as important.
So, but how did you get your football education? Because, like you said, it's very competitive, it's very tough, and to be one of the football greats, it's supremely difficult, I would imagine. So, how did you put yourself on
Well, I think you have to when you start at 6, 7, 8 years old, it's still having fun, because you're a child and you're with your friends in the team, and but when you become older and older, and the chance of actually achieving your goals, it will make you even more determined to get into professional football. And it's difficult, because, as you said, there are so many players and kids who want the same, and you have to show it every time you're in training in football. You have to show that you want to be in the team, and that's one thing I've learned through my education as a footballer is to be disciplined, and to really focus on the football instead of maybe other things people were doing when they were young.
But how old were you when you started entering into the club and then being part of
I was
footballers?
I think I was
on the track to become.
Yeah, I think I've noticed when I was like 14, 15 years old, people were talking that I had great talent and that I was the next player to go into the first team. But
What sort of talent did they see you have? Is it the way you move with the
yeah,
the
well, I
ball
think the
or-
same. I think the same things that people saw in throughout my whole career. I think my mentality is very good. I never give up. I always give 100%. I think my passing is good, and I was a player who. With a left foot, there aren't many players in the world with a left foot because the majority is right-footed, and so that's a bit special. And when I was young, I always scored many goals, even as a midfielder. So I think that's one of the things people will remember of me, from my career is the goals I've scored as well.
But what are the biggest challenges for you? Obviously, you have to train a lot. You have to be very, very serious once you're on that track, because we're talking about once you enter clubs, we're talking about big money. We're talking about all that kind of aspect.
Well,
How do you feel about?
Well, I felt good about it because I only had one goal in life, and it was to become a professional player. And as I said, when you're 17,
Which happened at quite an early age.
yeah, I think I was started like really professional at maybe 17, 18 years old when I got my first contract. And but at that age, your friends are going out, having drinks and having fun, and those were the moments that I should have stayed home, and I did, rest for the games, and instead of going with them, I stayed home and make sure that I was prepared for the games, and that's I think that's very important now because football is very it's very hard, also physically but also mentally. You have to be focused every time.
Now you've played for some very big clubs like Rangers and Arsenal, and of course at Feyenoord. What were the considerations for you when you changed clubs or?
Well,
why?
I think I wanted.
Is it like a professional or career move, or is
It
it
was
you wanted
because
different
of course
challenges?
in Holland it's a good league, but everyone wants to feel want to play in the strong leagues, like England, Spain, Italy. Those are the leagues you want to be involved in. And for me, the step first to Rangers in Scotland was good because I could get used to being living abroad, away from my family, and together with my wife, we were there alone. And it was a good experience for me. We had a Dutch coach, so he gave me the confidence of playing every week, so that helped me a lot. And after that, I went to Arsenal because the English league is great to be in. The Premier League is fantastic. So I played there for 2 years, and in my first year I got an injury of my knee, so I was 8 months out. And when I came back, I struggled a bit with form because you have to get into the rhythm again, and so I wasn't playing a lot. And then Barcelona came to call me. My old
Barca.
my old coach from the national team, Frank Rijkaard, called me if I wanted to join Barcelona, and then I was, the moment I heard it, I was so happy. And when I actually could, put on the first time the Barcelona shirt, I felt so proud because, I could remember the dream team with Ronald Koeman and Cruyff as a coach, Stoichkov. Those guys were my idols. And, I feel very proud to be a part of history of Barcelona, and we were very successfully as well because we won the Spanish title 2 times, and of course winning the Champions League in Paris. For a football player, that's the best prize. Yes.
But out of all those clubs that you played, which one is your favorite that you really felt that you were at home and you really enjoyed the team and you performed your best?
Feeling at home, I felt home at Feyenoord because that's my team, and I supported when I was young, and for me there was no other team I wanted to retire from.
So you started with that and you ended
yes,
with that.
Yes, that was my dream for my career, but my best footballing moments I felt with Barcelona because the way we played, the way the club is, that was those were the 4 years, the best years of my footballing career.